As per Vedic Astrology, Saturn commences retrograde motion on the 30th of June. The retrogression ends in mid-November and he will remain in the sign of Aquarius, but he will shift between two nakshatra. He is currently in Puratadi or Purva Bhadrapada, which is ruled by Jupiter. On October 3rd, he will cross over to the Sadayam nakshatra and remain there until the end of the retrograde. Saturn is the ruler of Sadayam. Interestingly, Jupiter also begins his retrograde motion in Mrigashirisham from October 9th, 2024. These predictions will not cover the motion of Jupiter. Rahu remains in Pisces and Ketu remains in Virgo, both continuing the retrograde motion. I have prepared some general predictions based on Saturn's retrograde alone. If you have a retrograde Saturn in your birth chart, most of these predictions may not apply to you. For more information, check out the links given in this video. I shall start the predictions from Aquarius, the sign where Saturn is currently residing. For Aquarius, you are currently going through the 7.5 years Sadeshati. Is this the second Sadeshati for you? If that is the case, has anyone told you that you are indeed going through the most transformative phase of your life? Did you know the transformation that is happening now will set the course of your life for the next 20 to 30 years? You might hate the Sadeshati, thinking all will be fine when your Guru or Venus Mahadasha starts in the next couple of years. But who is going to give you the skills, determination, and life lessons to reap the maximum benefits from your so-called good Mahadasha? Saturn does. Dear Aquarians, from your first house, Saturn has its effect on 3rd house Aries, 7th house Leo, and 10th house Scorpio. In this tug of war, you are now being forced to relook at your work and profession. Is there a project, paperwork, or course you have been shying away from? Something you started and left halfway because you were too busy entertaining your partner and siblings. Now you have to go back and fix it. If you are suddenly asked to attend a short training, go for it. It won't bring you any immediate benefit, but you will be glad in the future that you attended this training. Relationship with siblings may improve. Your written communication and expression will be clear. Those in the media industry can breathe a sigh of relief. Your partner will be the pillar of support. Do a reality check with your partner if you are facing some confusion. Moving on to Pisces. Troublemaker Rahu is in the 1st house and Ketu in your 7th. Are you getting any sleep at all? Is everything fine at home? Have you been checking on your partner? He or she may already need some attention from you. Sadeshati just commenced early last year. How have you been coping with your rising expenditure with all the limited income? Has Rahu been enticing you to reach out for your credit card too often? Now, the retrograde period presents a wonderful opportunity to fix your finances. There will be a temporary break from your rising expenditure. Your sibling may have come forward to bail you out. While it's good to be thankful, it's time for you to grow up and take care of your own finances. You may have to embark on a journey to a foreign land in connection with higher learning and spirituality. Those pursuing higher education may need to revise their thesis work or coursework. Take it all in your stride. Go through the corrections carefully. Be grateful that at least your work didn't get rejected outright. If you practice due diligence, your superiors will eventually sing praises of you. Your enemies may get more powerful during the retrograde. Make friends with the enemy. Exercise caution in your speech and don't go around inviting trouble. Avoid office politics. Avoid trouble with authority and take care of your health. Let's now look at Aries. With Ketu shielding you from your enemies and Guru in your 2nd house, and on top of that, being currently joined by Sun and Venus. What a life, oh sweet talker! Isn't life a dream? And Saturn in your 11th house, further giving you rock solid support. His retrogression now may leave you feeling a bit vulnerable for a while. So stop being overconfident. There's going to be a break in your lucky streak. Friends are going to make a beeline, but disappear the moment you stop dishing out the honey. You know what I'm talking about. All those lovely parties you have been going to. Now suddenly everyone wants a favor from you. They are no more your party friends. They're going to be your liability. But do you actually have enough cash to spare? Have you been servicing your loans, your insurance payments, and paying your taxes on time? You think you can fix it all because of the boundless energy you've got? Saturn is going to withdraw that Duracell battery from you for a while. You are going to feel flat out. Luck, love, and speculation may favor you at times. Use it wisely. I recently met this person at the temple and casually asked him, "So what Rashi are you?" He said he was Karaka Rashi. And I'm like, Karaka Rashi? You're going through Ashtama Shani? How are you coping with all this? And then this gentleman gives me this look. And he goes like, what? I don't look at all that. I just come to the temple as frequently as possible. I pray and I leave everything in the hands of God. So what is the lesson here for all those of you trying to get this prediction and that prediction? Never forget the power of God. If you have surrendered yourself totally to God and you have asked God for help while you do your stuff, you do your things, of course, you will be fine. All these predictions are only meant to help you, to guide you. It's not meant to replace faith. It's not meant to replace the blessings of God. Rishabha Rashi or Rishabha Lagna individuals have Saturn transiting currently in their 10th house, Aquarius. From the 10th house, Saturn has his aspects on the 12th, 4th, and the 7th houses. Saturn cleanses the qualities of the house he transits. In other words, his transit in your 10th house would have brought much changes related to your job. Whether the changes are for the good or bad, it depends on your past karma, current Mahadasha, and of course, your hard work and intellect. Rahu remains in the favorable 11th house. Ketu's position remains in the 5th, but is now under the Jupiter's benefic influence. Jupiter is also taking care of your 7th and 9th houses, so your overall support is pretty rock solid. You may have been working far away from home and had to sacrifice much comfort. Some of you may be going through some sort of training or upskilling in your line of work. Saturn will reward you handsomely when he enters your 11th house in 2025. But what is in store for you now? You must remember, Saturn can only reward you only after you solidify your current position and after you acquire the right skills and maturity in your current job. Saturn helps you cleanse all those areas, all those features in preparation for a good run when he transits your 11th house. During the upcoming retrograde, Saturn will create a temporary relief from the stresses at work. You will also face less resistance in matters related to overseas and travels. Your sleep will improve. This will also come with more time to spend at home and enjoy some of the comforts you have missed out. Don't be stressed about a sudden loss in income related to reduced work orders or lack of overtime. Your work will turn intense again once the retrograde comes to an end by mid-November. Enjoy the break while it lasts. You will spend more time with your partner or spouse. Don't miss this opportunity by being preoccupied with what's going wrong at work. Take your mind off work. Be sensitive to your partner's needs. Go save that relationship which you have unintentionally ignored for quite some time. Make amends, not demands. You will need your partner by your side as you enter the final lap of Saturn's transit in your 10th. While you're busy at work, eventually, who is going to be by your side? Who is going to be busy managing things at home? It's going to be your partner. Those who have already applied to go overseas may press on with their efforts during this period. There can be sudden changes in your favor. Use it wisely. Safeguard yourself from wasteful expenditure and habits which will come back to haunt you at the end of the retrograde. Since Saturn has released his clutches from your 12th house, you are now free to do all those things that is associated with the 12th house. All those secret dealings and getting yourself lost in unrewarding or unimportant work, unimportant pursuits. You're free to do all that. But if you indulge too much in those habits, once when Saturn retrograde is over, you're really going to feel it, because now you got to let go all those bad habits you picked up while Saturn was on leave. Gemini individuals are already facing mounting increase in their expenditure caused by Jupiter's transit in the 12th house. Jupiter is demanding that you spend on home, illnesses, fines, taxation issues and loans. But the expenses brought about by Jupiter will usually lead to a good cause or a good outcome. Saturn is transiting your 9th house. He has his influence over your 11th, 3rd and 6th houses. Ketu continues his transit in your 4th house, denying you basic comforts and peace at home. Ketu is somewhat subdued by Jupiter's aspect, but as previously explained, Jupiter is giving his rays from the 12th house. He can only do so much. Rahu's transit in the 10th house continues to give you a mix of stress and advancement in career. With Ketu firmly in your 4th, given the balance of probabilities, you may choose to spend more time at your workplace rather than at home. During Saturn's retrograde, you will experience mixed benefits from people of power and authority. Two situations may rise. First, a person of higher authority may work against you. Or number two, this person who has been tormenting you will now go on leave or get replaced by another person. So this new person may in turn help you push on with an approval or long-term project you have been working on. If you have been working on something, use this window of opportunity wisely and push on with your agenda. Agenda here refers to a promotion, thesis work, or an approval of some sort. Your circle of friends may have dwindled in the past 1.5 years. You may have been left with a small number of loyal and trusted friends. Old friends might emerge during the retrograde. They will be of no benefit to you in the long run. If you have ongoing disputes with these friends, bring things to an amicable solution and part ways tactfully and quietly. Avoid starting a new venture with someone previously not known to you. It's time to take care of your health. Try to settle outstanding fines and disputes. You don't want all those petty issues troubling you in your onward journey. Saturn's next transit will be in your 10th house. You will be much busy at work during the next transit. In facing adversity, you may need to double your own efforts and tap into any support you can gain from your siblings, your communications, the government, and the media. Short journeys will be smooth. During this retrograde, planning long journeys may not bring the desired results. You will need to double check all your travel arrangements and approach all sudden changes in a very mature and tactical manner. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong when it comes to long travels. Just be careful. Saturn will eventually open the doors to your promotion or success in higher learning. So this is when the retrograde is over. Saturn will eventually still push you and help you open the doors to your promotion or success in higher learning. This will be especially true if your promotion brings a higher level of responsibility in the future. So Saturn is all about responsibility. If he can give you more responsibility in the future, he will push you on in the right path. He will promote you. He will shower you with recognition. And then comes the job. Be prepared. Cancer individuals have been going through a period of sudden transformation due to the Ashtama's Shani. You are being forced to discard your old identity and all the bad habits that came along with it, with your old self. Be patient. Saturn is setting you up for a rebirth of sorts, because beyond the current transit, you will be moving on towards higher goals in life. Jupiter's entry into your 11th house may have already brought about a huge sense of relief. You may have regained your willpower and determination. Rahu's transit in your 9th house doesn't augur too well for a smooth journey in higher studies and health of your father. If you are already residing overseas, this situation may turn out to be quite different. So what does Saturn retrograde bring into the mix? First of all, tension at the workplace will subside. Your colleagues may find out about your actual skills, your true skills, and your integrity. If you have been facing some sort of adverse comments at workplace, all that will subside for a while. Take this opportunity to shine, but avoid stepping onto others. Your secret enemies will become stronger once the retrogression ends. So you don't want to make new enemies during this time. Some of you may get a sudden transfer to another department or a new workplace. Don't be too happy about this transfer, as the pressures related to this new role may surface only after mid-November. So once you land this new role, you got to learn very quickly. You need to stay ahead, one step ahead, by increasing your knowledge related to this new role. By now, Ashtama Shani would have taught you a lesson or two about promises. Promises are burdensome, and quite too often, you will land yourself in a predicament where you can't honor your own words. The retrograde may trick you, may give you a sudden feeling that things have changed. But the retrograde, remember, it is only temporary. Therefore, don't make new promises. Don't take up new loans. Be careful, because the burden will come back, and it will come back and eat you. You must guard yourself against wasteful expenditure. You may be tempted to tap into your savings without thinking twice, but you may struggle to replenish your savings afterwards. Money given to others will not find its way back to you easily. Meanwhile, family environment will turn harmonious. and become your source of peace and strength. Enjoy the get-togethers, but guard yourself from overspending. If you have children or if you are still in love, these areas may have been neglected while you were busy with the Ashtama Shani. It is time to go back and pay attention to your children's needs and their studies. It's time you spend more time in your own studies. You got to spend some time with them, spend some time for yourself, and make sure everybody stay motivated. The children especially, or your lover, they may have felt your absence a lot recently. Ever since the Ashtama Shani started, you just had lots going on for yourself, even though you didn't mean to. But somehow, there are other areas in your life which has fallen into a state of neglect. By now, you may have realized how the lack of your skills and recognition has severely blocked your progress in life. That would have been a recurring theme in the past 1.5 years. Why I didn't have this qualification, why I didn't study, why I didn't do this, why I didn't do that. Because of that, now I'm not progressing. They are not recognizing me. I've got the skills, but I don't have the paperwork. They're not recognizing my talents. I'm seeing less qualified people suddenly moving up the ladder because they have the right paperwork. So you need to gather background information on how to improve your skills or enroll in a higher education or a training. Jupiter would have brought you closer to well-connected friends or people of wisdom. Learn from them. The government may also offer technical and financial assistance. Go and find out what the government has to offer. Do a lot of fact-finding during this retrogression, so you are better equipped for your next big leap. Saturn's 8th transit is more about reality check. Saturn gives you the fear that you are obsolete and downright replaceable. Stop feeling sorry about yourself. The retrograde gives you time to think and strategize. Accept the transformation and see how you can change the course of your life. There is actually nothing mysterious about Saturn. Saturn demands discipline, hard work, determination, and persistence. When Saturn slows things down, he wants you to learn certain lessons carefully because you will need it for the next chapter in your journey. Sometimes you need to be cruel in order to be kind, and that's very true for Saturn. He has strong separative powers. He separates you from your comfort zone and nudges you towards excellence. If you choose to walk the path of Dharma, half of Saturn's lessons have already been delivered to you. If you understand the value of detachment, then the lesson is complete. Those who continue to suffer are those who are so attached to worldly comforts and place so much importance on their self. During any Saturn transit, you choose to suffer. You can also choose to end that suffering, not by ending your life of course, but by limiting your wants and needs, by submitting yourself to a higher existence. Leo is going through this unique predicament. Saturn and Sun are quite the opposite in character, and currently Saturn is transiting your 7th house while aspecting your own house Leo. His 3rd aspect falls on your 9th house Aries, while his 10th aspect falls on your 4th house Scorpio. Rahu continues his journey in your 8th house, probably preparing the stage for the Ashtama Shani, which begins by end of March 2025. Meanwhile, Ketu is firmly seated in your 2nd house. Your health may demand attention. Ketu would have wrecked your finances and distanced yourself from your family. These two areas are going through a slow recovery following Jupiter's recent transit. Jupiter, who is transiting your 10th house, is safeguarding your career while bringing his benefit to your 2nd, 4th and the 6th houses. Jupiter seems to be your true pillar of strength for now, but he too will turn retrograde in October 2024. Your 7th house is undergoing spring cleaning at the moment. You may have noticed frequent spats with your partner. Some of you may have already gone through separation or a divorce. The true extent of Shani's 7th transit will depend not only on your Mahadasha, but also the level of understanding and mutual respect you have built with your partner over the years. And if you think Saturn is causing so much trouble in your relationship, wait for Rahu's transit next year. He is bringing the circus to town. If you value your relationship, strengthen your bond now. If you are married, you should understand one fact. Marriage is not about finding the best partner. It is about making the best out of a partnership. During Saturn's retrograde, he will reduce his intensity on the 9th house. This will remove blocks in terms of higher learning, foreign journeys, and health of your father. Use it wisely. While the 9th house is getting a break, there will be more focus on your 4th house, denoting mother, comforts, and home. Your application for residency in a foreign land will progress quickly during the retrograde. However, health of mother may suffer. You may want to look into this before embarking on a long journey. If your vehicles or home are in need of repairs, please do it now. Vehicle repairs may come back to haunt you during the Ashtama Shani. Your partner may at times show erratic behavior. You need to keep your calm and provide the support. Leadership should come naturally for Leo, but how do you lead without showing authority? That is the skill you need to develop for now. I have already told you in the Jupiter transit video to please stay away from shady people and shady areas. You can easily get into embarrassing situations and end up draining your finances to save yourself from trouble. Chandrastama days are particularly bad for embarking on new deals and ventures. Virgo should be finally ending a period of self-neglect and lack of purpose. You are like this person who has just woken up from an induced coma. This is caused by Ketu in Virgo. Fortunately, Jupiter's recent transit may have helped you regain some insight into what is happening around you. Rahu continues in the 7th, bringing much excitement in terms of relationship and partners. But the Rahu-Ketu combination can at times be a play of mischief and glamour seen through a smoke screen. Keep a reality check always on you and your partner. Guru is going through a favorable 9th transit, but he will turn retrograde in October. Finally, Saturn is in your 6th house. Saturn has been shielding you from misunderstandings, ill health, and trouble with authority. On top of that, he was also protecting you from unseen enemies and sudden losses. During the retrograde, you will become more vulnerable in these aspects. You will finally appreciate what Saturn has been doing for you. Troubles that you face will be temporary in nature, but there must be safeguards. Do not stir up controversy or start arguments or a new litigation. Please stay away from making new investments. You can easily misread the terms and conditions. Beware of scammers. Be careful while traveling at night. Saturn's focus will temporarily shift towards your relationship with your siblings and communication. If you have neglected or hurt the feelings of your siblings, it is time to forgive and forget. If you have felt neglected or hurt by your siblings, it is also time to forgive and forget. Ketu had already taught you to forget so many things. He shows you what you need to know, then he makes you powerless to act. Some people are better left alone with their mistaken beliefs and ideals. That person can even be your sibling. Agree to disagree, move on, find that inner peace. Short journeys will be tiresome. Plan your little journeys wisely, otherwise you will end up running around aimlessly even for seemingly simple tasks. To reduce short journeys, you can try to conduct your transactions online. If you lack computer literacy, then please learn how to use them. But please be careful of online scammers too. Long journeys will be pleasant. Some of you may receive a proposal from overseas. It will receive the blessings of your elders. You may lack confidence at times. Guru is in your 9th house. Take the advice of elders and preceptors. Open up to them about your shortcomings and accept the appropriate guidance. Students in higher education will not face any disturbance until Guru's retrograde. You may push on with your graduation or final submission between now and early October. You will be amused seeing how quickly your friends turn enemies and enemies turn friends. However, your spiritual journey will continue undisturbed. For Libra sign, Saturn is your yoga karaga. Just like for Taurus, no matter how hard Saturn's lessons are, he is always ready to reward you if you show the right attitude. If you are a hardworking person and committed to the path of Dharma, the Saturn retrograde will not really matter to you. You should pay more attention to the state of other main planets. So where are the rest? Jupiter, the Lord of the 3rd and the 6th, is now in your 8th house Taurus. Right now, even Venus is in the 8th house. Soon, the 8th house will be joined by the 12th Lord Mercury. This combination gives some sort of Viparita Raja Yoga. So something special for you is already in the horizon. From the 8th house, Jupiter has his aspect on Ketu, who is transiting the 12th house. This is good for spiritual progress, or if you are young and carefree, at least something good will come out of all the wasteful activities you've been going through so far. If you have been into drugs or some form of addiction, this Guru-Ketu combination is good for rehabilitation. Rahu continues his journey in your 6th house. I think I basically need to stop Libra's predictions here, because I begin to wonder, what other good combinations are you looking for? Anyway, you wanted to learn about Saturn, so here it is. His journey in your 5th house means purification of love, matters related to your children or progeny, your creativity and intelligence. During the retrograde, you will worry unnecessarily about all those things I just mentioned. You worry about your children, but they will turn out performing much better than you expected. If you are pregnant, there may be scary situations. For example, bleeding or reduced fluid surrounding the baby, but the pregnancy will eventually turn out all right. Saturn's 5th transit puts to test the kind of love you receive from those around you. During the retrograde, it is also time to evaluate how much love you have been giving to yourself. It is time to step back a little and spend more time on yourself, doing things you love to do. If you are a student, you will feel some indecision and lack of discipline in your studies. If you have been blaming Saturn for your poor marks, now is the time you learn what it feels like to lose the drive of Saturn. If you are an adult, there will be chances of indecision, but there is an equal chance you will begin to think out of the box. If you have struggled to understand a particular subject or a problem, revisit this problem during the retrograde. You may get sudden answers. The answers may have been right there all along. Saturn's reduced intensity on your 7th house will bring your partner close to you. Share your concerns with your partner. He or she will help you see things from a more balanced perspective. On the other hand, there will be now a heavier focus on your finances. You should now be getting money flowing in from multiple sources. Now Saturn is all about structure. Have you been keeping track of everything? When was the last time you checked your bank statement? Is everything in order? How is the family environment? Is there something you can do to enhance the ties among the family members? Iron out things during the retrograde, because by November, the focus will shift back to your children and your partner. Faith can move mountains. If you ask me, Shani makes those mountains. Then what about the faith? Well, that's up to you. Shani blocks you, he throws you challenges, and then he smiles at you. He goes like, is that all you got? Is that all you are capable of? You can talk so highly of yourself to others? Now show me what you got. Shani plays with your innermost fears. Fear of failure, rejection, separation, losses. These are the mountains of fear. Once you learn to overcome your innermost fears, the mountains mean nothing to you. Once you have cleared your karma, the mountains move aside for you. Beyond those mountains, there is no retrograde. There is no 7.5 years Shani. There's no Ashtama Shani. Beyond those mountains, you feel so great, yet so small. Beyond those mountains, you will find something far larger than the mountains you tried to move. Beyond those mountains, you will find the feet of God. Scorpio has much excitement going on in the house of partnership of late. Jupiter, Sun, Venus, and Mercury are forming a conjunction. Many of you may end up with a long-term partner or begin talks about getting married. The benefic effect of Yoga Karaga Jupiter is flowing through your 2nd house and also subduing Ketu in the 11th. It is also affecting your own house Scorpio and the 9th house Capricorn. Rahu continues his transit in the 5th, giving you an unusual mind and firing up your intelligence. Saturn is in your 4th house Aquarius with aspect on your 6th house, 10th as well as Scorpio. The combined effect of Jupiter and Saturn on your own sign should make you more refined in character. You may have realized a new sense of wisdom and your speech becomes measured. Saturn's retrograde causes temporary upset in matters related to home, mother, and comforts. This will increase the amount of mental stress and you will feel lethargic. Jupiter continues to guide you, but only until early October because he is also turning retrograde afterwards. Be careful in making promises once Jupiter turns retrograde. You may also experience doubt about your own capabilities. Seek help and guidance where appropriate. Rahu continues to give you keen intellect, but Rahu is the magician. He sometimes gives you a false sense of conviction. You will sense something is wrong, but end up doubting yourself, doubting your own judgment especially during the double retrograde of Saturn and Jupiter. Small disagreements may crop up. Don't waste too much time on it. Do not start a new project, especially during the double retrograde, as you will likely struggle with lack of concentration and lack of energy during the period. Your overall level of energy will improve after mid-November. Spend time on exercising and self-improvement. Balance your time between home and your workplace. Sagittarius is currently going through a good Saturn transit. After the Sadeshati or 7.5-year Saturn's return, life should have normalized a great deal for the past 1.5 years. Jupiter is in Taurus, which happens to be your 6th house. Currently, Venus is in the same house, bringing much conflict and controversy with girls and women. Some of you may have embarked on a big legal battle. Jupiter is casting his gaze on your 10th house, which is already occupied by Ketu. You may have regained a lost position at work, that too after putting up a big battle. Ketu continues to give frustration at work. You try to find peace at home, but Rahu is in your 4th house, disturbing your comforts and maternal love. So Saturn seems to be the only major planet granting you strength, willpower, and other good things through your siblings, communication, and short trips. Saturn's retrograde in your 3rd house may signal a need to go back and rectify something or not getting something right in the first time. Chances of failure are there. You may lack confidence and begin to doubt yourself. There can be embarrassing situations related to miscommunication. Others will misunderstand even your best thoughts and intentions. Read your emails and text messages a few times before sending them out. Do not arrive at a premature conclusion. Verify the facts. Silence is golden. During the retrograde, you may also be forced to undertake a long journey to find peace and tranquility. You can use it to your advantage. It can be used for spirituality, attending training in a foreign land, or reconnecting with your father or father figure, or even your boss. If you have been denied assistance from a government source, you may try again during the retrograde. Use your natural charm and diplomacy. Do not demand or argue to get your work done. You may be in a better position to express and enjoy love. If you are already in a relationship, an old flame may re-emerge and cause confusion. Handle the situation carefully, as Rahu is ready to rock your foundation if you take the wrong step. Given the ongoing conflicts, job insecurity, and disturbance in your mother's health, you certainly do not want to add another problem on your plate. The Sadeshati or 7.5 years Saturn would have already brought some amount of maturity in you. When Saturn turns retrograde in the 3rd, that old feeling of going through Sadeshati will come back once more. But you should be mature enough by now to realize that if Saturn makes you turn back, there's always something good in the end. Just like the great inventor Thomas Edison, you will find 100 ways of how things go wrong. That experience itself builds you as a better person. We now reach the final sign in our series, Capricorn. Capricorn is nearing the 7.5-year journey of transformation. There's less than 1 year left, and the retrograde is bringing you a well-deserved break. Jupiter is currently undergoing transit in your 5th house. Have you found love with someone from a faraway land? Those feelings may intensify now, especially with Venus joining Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is also purifying Ketu's spiritual demands in your 9th house. If you are already spending more time going to the temple or doing meditation, you should be achieving much wisdom by now. Your father may be achieving quite a legendary status by now. Make sure you tap into all that cosmic energy and get some good lessons for yourself. Even if your father has departed, he may appear in your dreams and bring on some message for you. Don't miss the message. Rahu is continuing his journey in your third house, granting you much happiness in media, communication, and relationship with siblings. You will hardly stay in one place, jumping at every opportunity that passes by. Saturn's retrograde will take some heat off your finances and studies. Combined with Rahu, Ketu, and Jupiter's blessings, success in competitions and examinations is almost assured. All that is needed is a final push, and you may surprise yourself with what you can actually achieve for yourself. Something that you thought was lost forever may find its way back to you. It can be money from insurance, inheritance, an object, or even your reputation. So during the retrograde, you should try to do some cleaning up at home. You will be surprised with the kind of things you will discover. You may at times feel lonely because your friends are not too interested in you. Use the time away from your friends to better understand yourself. Strategize. Reflect back on all your hard work and how far you have traveled this lonely road. Identify those few people who have been with you through thick and thin. Reconnect with them instead. When the retrogression ends, Saturn will only have about 4 to 5 months to finish the Sadeshari, or the 7.5 years Saturn. If you have been working hard, you can expect a handsome reward after the retrograde. You know what you have been working for, and you know what the price is. Just hang in there. The retrogression may bring some confusion, but it will be only temporary. Stay focused and keep that fire burning.